All right, so we're going to get right into setting up charts this morning. All right. Now, when it comes down to setting up a chart, I believe you need a few things here. Now, the reality is this, all right? This to me is not a part of a chart setup. Your RSI is not a part of a chart setup, right? When it's all said and done, what I need is interpretive factors, right? And I need elements that help me understand how how far a move has gone, those types of things, right? Some things that I can use as confluence for other, for other signals, and things that I can use to confirm, what I'm looking at. So I think, for one, support and resistance levels is always important, right? Now, for that, I like to use the monthly pivots. But what I do is I set my monthly pivots up with my Fibonacci's. All right. Now, you can go right here, grab your Fibonacci retracement or your Fib retracement. It's not going to matter where I put my Fibonacci's. I can put them anywhere on this chart. It's not going to matter because my Fibonacci's are going to be set by the price bar, right? And I'm going to put my key levels, put a monthly pivot points into my Fibonacci's, and then that's going to then set all my levels from there. So on the pro pivot indicator, you have your monthly R3 and S3 from the pivot point. If you don't have the pro pivot indicator, or if you're trading like futures or Forex or something like that, you go to the monthly chart, right? You grab the high, low, and the close from the previous month, and you put them right here in this calculator, high, low, close in the previous month. And then you grab your R3 and your S3, and you plug them into your Fibonacci's like I'm about to do here. Right? The pro pivot indicator works really well for ETFs and for stocks and equities, right? Now, 623.17 and 733.75. All right, let me write that down. That is 623.17 and 733.75. I'm going to just plug those numbers right into my Fibonacci's, all right? So 623.17 and 733.75. Now, right out the gate, here's the beautiful thing, right? Right out the gate, what this lets me know is where my lets me know where my bullish or bearish bias is. The 50% retracement that you can see right here is now the monthly pivot. Okay, that is now the monthly pivot. Okay, now also these numbers now will become my first points of support and resistance. Let's go to the 4-hour chart here. All right, and let's take a look here. So to the downside here, this 38.2 is my first support. This 23.6 is my second support, and this 0 mark here, right? This origin mark here is my third support. All right, everything beyond that is an extension if the market was to continue to break downward. Notice how these levels are all sitting at some crucial point in the market. Okay, They're all sitting at some crucial point. That is what makes them unique. What makes them so fantastic? Look at this. Look at where your pivot point is sitting. Right around here. Right now, I am going to show you guys now the next thing I like on my chart, and that is the I like the uh, I like the anchored volume profile. All right. Now I'm going to show you guys a trick that I like to utilize. All right. Let's go here to the daily chart. All right. And so I'm looking back over the past 12 months here, and I see this is the last extreme that we hit. Right, this is the highest point that we've been right here, which is like around July 25th. Right around here. Right, hold on. Around July 25th. I am going to go under my forecasting tools. Notice they have this under forecasting tools. All right. Get my anchor volume profile right here. I'm going to go to the. Now, each one of these tools that I'm showing you can be used on any chart, and I'll talk about that in a second. So I'm going to set it right here for July 25th. This was the last time we saw an extreme. All right. And see how we've been trading since then. All right. Got little volume clusters here, 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 and here. Right. You can see my value area low is sitting right around my 23.6. All right. Look at my value area high. All right. That's right around where we just had that recent collapse from the latest tariff scare, brought to you by one and only D. Trump. So these are the two things that I like to see on my chart. And these two things I can use to correlate with almost anything else. All right. Let's go to the QQQ now. I'm gonna show you I'm gonna run through it now. Let's do it one more time. Okay. Grab my Fibonacci's. Boom. All right. I just need them on my chart. It doesn't matter where I put it. Just right, because what am I gonna do? I'm gonna open up my settings here. All right. I'm gonna open up the QQQ. All right. Boom, bada bing. I'm going to grab my monthly S3 and R3 from my pull pivot indicator. All right, that's 551.78 and 695.66. All right. Now, you are going to notice that my Fibonacci's extend in both directions. All right, I have extensions going to the upside and to the downside. That is a setting. Those I literally put those settings in there myself. So go ahead and screenshot this, and you can fill your Fibonacci's in. All right. I'm just gonna leave it here for a quick second. Get yourself a screenshot. All right. Also, I have my background transparent, and I have my Fibonacci's using all one color. I have my background, all right, transparent. Otherwise, you have this thing going on back there. It looks like this. All right. And I have my Fibonacci's all one color. All right. And that's just gray. All right. That's that. Now, I also took that trend line off. All right. There's a trend line that's usually there. I took that off as well. Okay. Now, let's plug in my coordinates. That's 551.78 and 695.66, and boom. All right, here we go again. All right, look at that. Look at that beautiful bounce off of this key level right here. Okay. Look at that beautiful bounce. So we know we hit this level right here, very possible you got some demand below this area. So we can see all the, all correlation, like I said. Now, um, again, first resistance, first support. That's what I focus on for the month. As I break above and close above first resistance, I start to pay attention to, more potential for upside. I mean, we got some momentum going. If I start to close below the S1, means we might have some momentum going to the downside. All right. Above or below the pivot is a bias. Above or below the R1 and S1 is, where we start to look at as some momentum. All right. Then the next thing we want to grab is our anchored volume profile. All right. And just looking at it around the same time, right? Oh, no. We got around September actually for your last spike here. All right. Right around here. So, you're looking at a little more of a, of a tighter window here for your anchor volume profile on the Qs. Okay, so yeah, you have a lot of exploring to do down here. If that ends up being the case, other than that, we do still have July 28th right here, right? That you can look at as well. So if you want to, you can always do like the spike that's closest to the date that you chose on the SPY, right? So you can do that as well. Okay. Now, all right. Geez, Lord, the last spike for IWM was was way back on July 3rd. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop my anchor volume profile now, since I'm already, looking at it. All right, look at this. All right, just struggling to get above the value area high. Just a struggle there. Let's grab my Fibonacci's. All right, boom, boom. All right, just gonna lock those in. All right, IWM. Okay, monthly S3 and R3, we have 223.06 and 268.69. Right? Mm-hmm. Let's go to the settings. 223.06 and 268.69. All right, boom. So all indexes are slightly above their monthly pivots to start off the month, or to close out last month, I should say. And so that's how I start off with setting up a blank chart, right? Fibonacci's and volume profile, and then I can just kind of go from there, like I said. So, let's see here. In this area right here, we're in this area of demand right now, but we're actually still in this demand area. As you can see, this was a most recent swing low. So I'd pretty much be looking at it like this, right? So we got to kind of break away from this pivot point level here, and then that'll start to give us some indication that this is working well. All right. And I will post more videos in the future on chart setups, so you can look forward to those.